Hey, what's going on, guys? Just posted the wide receivers and the running backs video just before this. So now we're going to wrap this up. I don't think I'm going to do a tight end video. I'm sorry, guys, but we're going to wrap this up with the quarterback rankings. Being that I'm only ranking 20 of them, I'm just going to talk about a handful of them. 3, maybe touch on 4 if I feel like it. But we're going to start right with my #1 pick. And this is going to be contentious for some, but because the general consensus across the fantasy world has Aaron Rodgers ranked, as #1, I have Tom Brady. Call it gut, call it the fact that you just can't lose having Tom Brady. But I'm loving Tom Brady's implications this year for a couple reasons. 1, because he's Tom Brady. 2, this whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation. He's got so much to prove because he's a year from the Brett Favre / Aaron Rodgers treatment where we've got to cut ties with the guy that's been holding us down to play the new guy, or we're going to lose the new guy type thing. Because Garoppolo is 1 year away from either having to be franchise tagged or traded because of his value. So Tom Brady is going to want to show something to keep his. I truly believe Brady's going to retire a Patriot. And the only way to do that is to play with the ultimate level of competitiveness like he does with a chip on his shoulder anyway and has his entire career, to almost force them to have to possibly part with Garoppolo because they got to do something. But truthfully, what I think they're going to do is they're going to franchise tag him. That's the smart thing. You don't want to lose him with the talent he's purportedly supposed to have. So I just think they're going to tag him. Either way, Tom Brady wants to show that I'm not losing anything, and y'all going to have a tough decision if you're going to try to waive or cut me. So Brady's going to be a monster. He's got new toys. He's got a great situation coming off a Super Bowl. What more do you need to ask? Aaron Rodgers, if you think he's #1, all day, go for it. This is a 1A, 1B situation. Right now, I'm just torn down the middle with it, and I'm just going to go with Brady. Just maybe even just the zag while everybody else is zigging. So who knows? I think Brady's going to have a monster season anyway. He's just going to be that as long as, obviously, he stays healthy. So I wouldn't be afraid to even take an early pick on him. I'm not one of those that's afraid to take an early pick on a quarterback, but be smart because this year, like last year, quarterback is something you don't have to buy early. You can mess around and wait till late middle to get Kirk Cousins and be just fine. To really be late and get somebody like Phillip Rivers, who I'm expecting to have a bounce back campaign, and truly wait late and just get all skilled guys and not have to worry about your quarterback. Or even do it on the sneak late, meaning not necessarily even having to draft him at all. Well, you got to draft a quarterback, but you can take him as late as the end of the draft and get somebody like Carson Palmer, who I truly believe is going to have just as much of a bounce back year as Phillip Rivers. They're trying to keep him fresh, and with the situation where John Brown is going to be prompted to a level to where he's expected to do so much, the continued emergence of David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald probably playing his final year, this should be a fun situation watching the Cardinals. So again, you don't have to invest early when it comes to quarterbacks, but if you want Tom Brady, you're going to have to. Second guy I want to talk about is my #8 ranked quarterback, and that's Cam Newton. This is a situation why he's 8. Some people have him a little lower, some people have him a little higher, but simply because of the shoulder issue is why I have him at 8. He's going to have to run less. I think Ron Rivera is trying to change some of his game style back, trying to dial some of the running back even more than last year, which they dialed it back. And they say his arm is 100%. He says his arm is 100%. He's wanting more reps out of the preseason than they're giving him, more reps out of training camp than they're giving him. And he's being like Cam does. He's whining about it. That tells me that he's hungry and wants to do this like he always does. And owning Cam Newton is usually never a bad proposition unless he's truly hurt. He played a lot of last year hurt. If he's healthy, again, I mentioned in the last video, I believe Kelvin Benjamin's going to be doing things heavily. With Christian McCaffrey and Stewart out there, both of them catch, this is going to be a situation where he's going to have some check down work. Jonathan Stewart's great in terms of pass protection and catching the ball, and we're going to see how Christian McCaffrey does. But he's got his weapons, and he's got a lot he's still trying to prove after basically a lost season last year. So I'm expecting him to have a little bit of a bounce back campaign, but don't expect too much. And again, like I said, he's my number 8 ranked guy. But with the don't expect tag goes no more than my number 12 ranked guy, Dak Prescott. A lot of you guys saw one of the better rookie quarterback campaigns that we've seen in recent time, and it was because of default. It was so good that it forced Tony Romo to retire, a guy that would be on this list here if he decided to play. That shook him so bad that he just decided to hang it up. Or maybe his back was just that bad off and he had to accept it. But I think that's one of them confidence things what Dak did. Either way, Dak is, a lot of people are expecting big things from him, and I expect him to be solid. But I do not expect him to be spectacular, and that's for 2 reasons. The ebbs and flows of what will be or may not be with Ezekiel Elliott. He could get all 6 games, ultimately being 7 games, and starting in week 8. He could get no games if this thing gets delayed the whole year and nothing changes. But we're just going to bank on 6 games just for the fact that that's all we know now. If Ezekiel Elliott gets 6 games off, 6 games off, 7 games or whatever, including the bye, that is going to put so much pressure on Dak Prescott. The offensive line is not as good as it was last year. And it's going to be a whole lot of Dez Bryant, and a lot of people are going to overdraft Dez because of this Ezekiel Elliott situation. Don't be fooled by the fact that this running back situation is now going to make it seemingly opening the passing game. This is a second-year player. A lot of times this stuff happens. You've seen it happen with so many guys. They have that great first year or solid first year, and then the next year, the circumstance changes too much and it makes them look like a shell of the player that they were. And to me, Dak Prescott isn't this super great, accurate passer anyway. So I'm just not expecting this to be this huge Dak campaign because of last year. Temper your expectations with Dak Prescott and you'll have a solid player. You can wait pretty decent to get him, but some people are going to overdraft him. If that's the case, let them have it, because you do not need to take what could possibly be a big overdrafting headache by taking Dak too early. And I think that's going to be wrapping up what I say about the quarterbacks, because like I said, I only got 20 guys ranked on here. Don't go too far with that. 20 guys, these are basically the guys that I would feel that the only reason you would need to own them. In standard 10-team leagues, nobody needs more than 2 quarterbacks. So assuming it's 10-team leagues, that's the 20 that I feel you should have. So I didn't say it in my other videos. Please subscribe to my Twitter. It's at FF Real Talk. Follow me on Twitter rather. Subscribe rather to my YouTube channel here. There's a lot of people that's been waiting for some content, and it's been a while. And like I said, not 1,000% sure if what I'm going to do this season going forward, if it's going to be every week or ever so often or not at all. But I definitely wanted to give you guys these rankings, and I hope it helps out. Good luck in your drafts. Good luck this season. If you got any questions, you already know the name of the game. Ask me on Twitter, ask me here, and I'll get right back to you as soon as I can. All right, y'all have a good one. Good luck this fantasy season. Y'all take care.